very important to like make sure that we don't have those negative thoughts, right? And those
Right.
negative beliefs that we have about ourselves, and we just, we just continue, we stay consistent, we study, we focus, like you said. And knowing our weaknesses, like you notice that like you're not great at like details, like you might miss units, and then you're like, I'm
Yes.
gonna really make sure I have that down, right? Because like if you solve a problem with the wrong units, you are gonna get the wrong answer, right?
Exactly.
Even though your steps are correct. It could also be the FE exam just been getting harder and harder. And I did have noticed that, like from the time when I took it in 2017, my exam was like super easy, like really easy. Like I was like, really, this is
Yeah.
it. Like so I did have some hard questions. I didn't have a lot of conceptual questions as they give now. Maybe I had like 10 conceptual questions in my whole exam. But now I feel like the more after, when we talk to students and stuff, like first started with 20, then 30, now I think we're at 40 conceptual questions. Students, like you guys will take same exam, like same week. We'll have like, a couple students take the exam same week, and then every student has completely different experience. like
Yeah.
like I interviewed the students, like Kenya, I believe, which she took her exam like just a month before you. And she was like, it was so easy. And then, we get another student and then goes like, it was so hard. It's just like completely different experiences. So it's like you don't know what you're gonna get. And this is why I try to tell you guys, like, just, study everything. Study everything. Because you could get like an easy, you know, questions in structures, and you could get really difficult questions in statics, right?
Yeah.
And so it's
Got it.
like you just don't
Yeah.
know what you're gonna get. So it's
Yeah.
very important that you just try, because that's how you're gonna optimize and maximize your point, right? By like covering as much as you can. And also that's gonna give you confidence as well going in, knowing that I got it all. Like I did the best I could. Like you
Yes.
said at the end, you were like, I did all of it. Like I did everything that I could possibly do, right? And look what happened, right? Even
Yeah.
though the exam was the most difficult exam, you were still able to pass it, which is amazing. It's
Yeah.
like extra, like like celebration, right? It's like not only you pass, but you pass the hardest of all of them.
Oh man,
And
that was hard.
yeah, yeah, and that shows a lot. Shows that you really put in the effort. You know your stuff now. You know your engineering. And then you also had to a little bit change your test taking skills. That was really important for you to do to be able to pass your FE exam, because you had to. I had a couple students like that where they had to finish a question before they move on to the next one, or it just annoys you. And so they just had to really take a lot of practice exams to practice and to just be like, nope, it's been more than 3 minutes, I'm moving on. And that's really, and that helps a lot, because like you're not there to score, to get every single question right correct. That's not the goal. The goal is just to get as many questions as you can to be able to pass your FE. That's the goal. And so yeah, it's very important to have a good like a time management or strategy for the exam. I really liked how you were like, take it one step at a time, because a lot of times if you look at just the whole material, you could totally get overwhelmed, because like I mean there are 14 different subjects in the FE
Mhm.
symbol, right? And each subject there's like so much more subtopics that you have to know and learn, and so
Right.
it's overwhelming exam. And so, but something that it's very important for the students to remember is that I love what you did, really, and that's what I really try to tell you guys as well, is have a study plan, and then have a plan of what you're going to study every day, and just focus on
Mhm.
that. Don't focus on the big picture, because that's really you're gonna lose motivation so quickly, because if
Mhm.
you just start in math and then you still have 13 more subjects to go through, and you keep reminding yourself of that every day, you're not going to want to show up to study,
Yeah.
because you're so far away from your goal. So it's very
Yeah.
that so I really like that tip, where it's like, put a study plan, put what I'm gonna do every day, plan it out, and then see how much time it will take you to cover all of that material. You have those study habits now, right? It's the same exact thing how you approach the FE. I would approach the PE, right? Get a
Mhm.
good course, and we can talk more about that if you like. And have a study plan like you created for the FE, and then, and just study. And something I noticed, you might study less for your PE than you did for the FE. So just keep that in mind, because like the FE is very general, whereas the PE is very specific based on your discipline, especially the afternoon section, right? Or they call it the depth. So the depth is going to be based on your discipline. And so that might make it slightly easier. From what I heard from our students who got both their FE and their PE, it was easier, the PE, and then also it took them less time and they passed it on their first try. So just go in positive, right? Like, especially because, you just passed your FE, and it seems like you studied a lot. You went through so much material, the bundle plus the quick review. You've done so many practice exams. You have a really good foundation in engineering. And so all these concepts, everything that you've learned, it's really going to help you for the PE, and it's going to be much easier because you already have a lot of the foundation already from the FE. So I think you're going to do great. I've seen it with so many of our students. They would fail the FE so many times, and then they get our course, they pass the FE, and then literally 4 months, 5 months, even once, 2 months, they would email us that they passed their PE. I think a lot of people could relate to that. When you have family and you work and then you come home and then you don't really spend that much time with your family because you got to study, and then you start feeling a little bit guilty that you're not being with your family. But that's a hard one, and I always recommend to students to just like find a balance, right? We always talked about that. And then also to like, when you are spending time with your family, try to be in the moment, in the present, be with your family. Don't think about studying. And when you're studying, try to focus on your studying and try not to feel guilty for not being with your family, because it just doesn't help, really. It just makes you feel bad the whole day and doesn't help you in any way. And it's just temporarily. You just got to remind yourself, this is just going to be temporarily. And once I get my FE, it will all be worth it. And then my family can see. I think that's another one too, because it's like if you have kids and your kids seeing how hard you're working, I mean, you're sending such a great message here. A lot of people, when they start preparing for their FE, there are certain subjects that they already don't like from the start, right? Like for engineers, for civil engineers, a lot of times I found that they don't like dynamics. We like things statics. We don't like things moving. Dynamics. Environmental is another one that civil engineers struggle with, and structures. And so something I always try to tell you guys is go in with a new mindset, right? You got to remove that fear from like your previous experience, whether maybe you had a bad professor or you just didn't grasp it then. You're a different person now, right? And just when you go in, just go with an open mind. Like, this is new, you've never seen it before, and just go in and learn it and enjoy it and have fun with it. And when you go in like that, then you never know, you might end up loving it, right? Like what happened with you with structures. And so I think it's just like really about shifting our mindset that could really help us to go like, oh my God, I really get this and I'm enjoying it. Which can be like it's very fulfilling feeling as well. You go like, oh my God, like I hated this subject, but now I love it. I can really do this, right? And it builds your confidence, right? So, a lot of people like ask, how do I gain confidence? But that's how you build confidence, really. You just build it slowly by slowly. You finish math, and then that helps you it gives you a little bit of a boost of confidence. Wow, I finished math. I did that. Let's move on to engineering econ, right? And the more you go through the course, the more you feel like, oh my God, I'm actually learning this stuff. I'm getting closer to passing my FE. And then you just find yourself one day you're confident about this exam. It's a process, and you can't force it. Like you said earlier, you were trying to rush it. And we had a couple conversations when I'm like, Andre, you gotta you have to slow down and just learn, right? Focus on learning. And I think that's a lot of times that's what people are missing. Oh yeah, everybody now.